tell you guys, run out and buy it right now. But what if ASUS does the same thing as last time? What if there's a flaw in the hardware and they not only refuse to issue a recall, but refuse to acknowledge it at all? They've got some serious community trust issues to address, and my hope is that by the time we release this video, they will have taken decisive action that I can display on screen right now to help set their company on the right path. Because if they can do that, the Ally X is sick. I mean, our hardware isn't technically final, but guys, they have fixed everything. Chassis, more comfortable. Thumbsticks, better materials, and replacing the Hall effects from Billy Kit. Expensive XG mobile expansion interface, replaced with industry standard USB 4. And guys, that's just for starters. Given that this is a preview, ASUS wouldn't authorize the publication of graphs, but they did leave the device in our hands, and we do have a testing lab, so I might make some, let's call them predictions about performance that are going to blow your mind, even if you feel like you can't trust ASUS right now. Speaking of companies you can't trust, how about our sponsor, dbrand? Those freaking guys, I half expect something to pop out of it and like stick into my eye. They recently launched their kill switch case for the original ROG Ally, and it's getting rave reviews over on Reddit. It dramatically improves the digging in of the bottom corners, and the grippiness is just outstanding. Check out dbrand.com/killswitch if you want to grab one for your Ally or Steam Deck, or hey, if you don't want to buy anything and you just want to harass them to make one for the Ally X. Let's begin with what the Ally X isn't. It isn't the Ally 2, so there's no major leap forward for gaming performance. In order to achieve that, ASUS would have had to wait for AMD's Strix Point mobile chips, which would have increased the device's price dramatically. It also isn't a major leap in screen quality. In fact, ASUS says that they not only aren't using an OLED display, they're using the exact same panel as last time. With that out of the way, there are performance improvements, and some of them are big. We're getting more memory at faster speeds and a truly impressive doubling in the rated battery capacity. And all of this is somehow without tipping the scale. It is heavier than both the old Ally and the Steam Deck OLED, but it's within striking distance of the original Steam Deck, and honestly guys, to my hands, it doesn't really feel that noticeable. Now, we were very interested in how gaming battery life would be impacted by this changing capacity, and here comes my first prediction. I predict that the Ally X will not last 3 times as long as the original, but that it will last considerably more than twice as long, both in endurance and in full stress situations. So I predict that you will no longer be stuck plugging in if you want to game at full performance for longer than about 45 minutes. Absolute game changer. And while we are still limited to AMD's Z1 Extreme APU, the additional 8 gigs of DDR5 for a total of 24 gigs running at 7,500 megatransfers per second should result in a few more FPS in your favorite titles. Now, not every game is gonna see a big uplift. For example, I predict that Grid Legends will test basically the same on both devices. But while the unit that I'm holding is still defaulting to 10, 15, and 25 watts for each of the stock power profiles, ASUS has told us that the plan is to launch the new Ally with each profile increased by 2 to 3 watts, since they've got all that extra battery headroom now. That should result in minor but measurable increases across pretty much every game. Let's play with it. I gotta say, the color, it's not as striking. It definitely looks more generic, almost like they're copying the MSI Claw now. But white is not a good color for something that you're gonna have your grimy meat hooks all over. I wanna do a blind test for weight. Okay, blindfold me. Wait, no, I have a better idea. I'm gonna take this wonderful dip dye hoodie from lttstore.com and do this with it.
How many fingers am I holding up?
3.
No, he's wrong. All right, he's blind.
I'm gonna have to be careful not to touch the bottoms because it's more rounded on the new one. I like that way better. So I'm just gonna kind of grab them like a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle.
Here's the first one.
Okay, so this is one. Okay.
Okay, you got that? Here's the other one.
Oh man, when I held that first one, I was like, oh, that's definitely the new one, but now I'm not sure.
Number 1.
I feel like I'm at the competition. Okay,
And 2.
this is the original.
Yeah,
Okay,
you're right.
it's really close. Let's have a look at some of our other changes here. I can't say that I particularly noticed the difference in material on the joysticks. But with that said, Ploof, you didn't mention the ring on the top. I actually really like that, how it kind of cups the tip of your thumb a little bit better. Big fan of that. Ooh, and they're tighter. So you can replace them with thumbsticks from